Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We have another Bill Wirtz video. I really enjoyed History of the World. Today we have History of Japan. Really want to visit it. It's one place that has been on my list for a while, but still haven't gotten a chance yet. And I've learned things here and there about Japan through the years. No thanks to my parents. My parents are Chinese, so the only thing they talk about regarding Japan is the rape of Nanking and how Japan still hasn't acknowledged it. But like, separate the government from the people and the culture, like, please. But yeah, Japan is really fascinating because in current times, in modern times, they have such a large export of culture. Anime alone is so big. Like, if you asked me what the name of another country's cartoons were, I would not be able to tell you, but everybody knows about anime. Tons of the biggest video game studios are there. I love me some Final Fantasy. I will probably play every non-MMO mainline title until I die. There's also hentai, which we won't get into much here, but yeah, even though this is a short 9-minute video, I'm hoping for some insight into exactly what made Japan have such a large cultural influence on other countries. There's the food too. Sushi is big in New York. I'm actually not sure how big it is in the rest of the United States, and I don't know how big it is in other countries. I guess we'll also learn about the samurai and the Meiji Restoration. That'll be a fun time. I learned a lot about that era just from watching Rurouni Kenshin. Anyway, guys, leave a like, and let's get into it.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes and its in the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been
-1 billion?
In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones and bowls. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here.
That's a lot of important kingdoms.
This one was the most important, ruled by a heavenly superperson, or emperor for short.
Heavenly superperson.
The door. It's religion. The new prince
wants
everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it.
Nope.
No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was
and so it happened.
And all the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China.
Dwarf.
Can you call us something else other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what?
Wah
said
wah.
China. How about Sunrise Land?
Sunrise Land.
And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about
that
themselves.
I know about.
And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the north finally. Get that squared away.
So what was it before? What was in the north?
Bored with modern Buddhism, visits China and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature
What about Shinto?
For a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals?
I bet.
Samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich, important people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai.
That makes sense.
The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government.
How do you pronounce that?
They let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control. Breaking news. The Mongols have invaded China.
We've invaded China,
said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again, and had a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
The entire tornado?
The emperor overthrows the shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants. That's fine.
That's fine.
Like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties,
monkey fun,
architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones.
Vote now.
And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry.
That's what voting does.
The whole country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks, and guns, and Jesus. So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control. Now with guns. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the
Ooh.
leader of that clan steals the idea of
Nobunaga.
invading the capital and invades the
Huh.
capital, and it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them.
Oh.
That guy finishes conquering
Oh my
Japan.
god.
And then he confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules.
Oh yeah, I know
Now
that.
we'll
I know about
invade
that.
Korea, and then hopefully China, he said, and
Yeah.
failed, and also died.
That-
But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right. It's not going to be this kid.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others.
Oh my god,
A
the
lot
Trump.
of people
Oh my
support
god.
him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new
No.
government right here. And he still lets the
Edo
emperor
period.
dress like an emperor. Very nice things. But don't get confused. This is the new government, and they are very strict. So
Oh,
strict
boy.
they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit. But they have to do it right here. Now that the entire country was not
Jeez.
at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was poetry, plays, sexy
Haiku.
times, puppetry,
Sexy times.
Dutch study.
Sexy
People
times.
started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics,
Skeletons.
chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down.
What?
Knock knock.
Uh-oh.
It's the United States.
Uh-oh.
With huge boats, with guns. Gunboats.
Good
Open
boats.
the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States. There was really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets the United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost
This
very little
sucks.
outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and
Whoa.
moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new
Tokyo.
government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western.
Pretty
And
Western.
do you know what else is Western?
Large.
That's right, it's conquering stuff.
Oh
So what can
boy.
they conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And
Oh,
Russia
boy.
rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop! No, you can't take that. We were gonna build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water."
What is that
Russia
music?
builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton.
Oh,
When I say
jeez.
downgrade, I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be
Wow.
a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia. Just
Oh,
for a
boy.
moment. And then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I. The
World
world
War
is
I.
about to have a war because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was
Oh
getting
my
ready
God.
to kick Serbia's ass because
Oh my
someone
God.
from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass. Or actually shot him in the head.
Yeah.
And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands.
Okay.
Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know. And then they did it.
Can
They
we
also
take the
helped Britain a
islands
little here and
things?
there with some errands and stuff.
Herons.
Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what.
Big dude.
And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to
Yeah.
join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. And the League of Nations is like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway?
Wow, how about I
Japan
do anyway?
invaded more and more and more and more of China.
Oh,
And
boy.
was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has
Yeah.
a cool mustache and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they
Oh,
had so
boy.
much in common. It's time for
Taking over the world needs friends.
Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happen to be Britain, said, holy shit. And the United States started
Holy
helping
shit.
Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire ocean. The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb ever. Just in case.
Hiroshima
But they
and
still haven't joined
Nagasaki.
the war.
Just in
War is
case.
bad on TV,
Just in
and the United
case.
States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And
What
then
you
Germany,
request.
as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe.
Friendship.
And they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start
Chase
chasing
Germany
Japan
back into Germany.
Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet and are curious to see if it works. So
Oh,
they
boy.
drop it on Japan.
Some
They
others.
actually drop two.
I think we're good. Oof. That deserves a moment
The
of
United States installed a new government,
being slowed
inspired by
down.
the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess.
Mario anime. Bye. Wait, that's it? Aww. So we didn't really learn about why they become such a large cultural exporter. Maybe they hinted at it later on with the economic boom. Probably allowed for people to focus on things that were less survival based. But I've heard the work culture there is kind of terrible, and so now because of capitalism, even dream jobs can wear you the heck down. I mean, the guy who's the lead director of Smash Bros, Masahiro Sakurai, he's been hospitalized a bunch of times because of overworking himself on the series. Not a great situation. And I guess I'm focusing mostly on modern society because that's where I live, when I live. But yeah, I also know people in Japan are not having as much sex over there, like much lower rates of romantic relationships, shrinking population. Population is supposed to drop from 120 million to like 80 million by 2060. So I don't know if that has to do with the overwork culture or not. But I did want to learn more about that stuff. That was the stuff I wanted to learn about. And this video stopped right as it was approaching what I wanted to know more about. They showed like a screen of Mario and Dragon Ball Z with Trunks and Goten about to fuse, and then that's it. It's over. Bye. There was a much larger focus on everything before that came with the samurai, shogunate, emperor toppling each other over and over again. That's a really interesting era too. Poor people didn't hire samurai. Rich people hired samurai. Poor people couldn't afford to hire samurai. But yeah, I kind of wish Bill Wirtz continued making these. They're really, really entertaining. But so yeah, feel free to make recommendations for more informative edutainment videos. But just know that I probably won't get to any of them anytime soon. I'm struggling to get through my own schedule with my current living situation. But yeah, I will take those recommendations and store them away for another time. Yeah, this was fun. I'm sad there are no more. But take a quick moment, leave a like, and I will see you guys soon with other videos from other creators. Bye, friends.